Well, good afternoon, Ted. I want to take a moment here and review the lesson we had the other day. When we take a look at a golf swing here, we talked about a couple of things here. Took the lesson from about a 45-minute lesson, probably an hour and a half or two. I forget. It was a good time. I enjoyed having and getting some Dale's input there. I thought it was very valuable, and I think it worked out. Kind of along the same lines I was looking at and discussing here with you. But sometimes it just takes that little bit to see something else as we come through with it here. So when we take a look at a golf swing here, one of the first things we talked about here in a stance was trying to get a little bit better posture, a little bit better in a stance. Trying to get this spine angle up just a little bit. When we talk about the tailbone there, just getting it up maybe just a hair more. And when I say that, might be just up here. Just get taller up here. Get the arms where this angle here is probably a little more there compared to here. All right. Now, when we look at that, this is what it kind of looked like here. And hold on one second here. I'm going to get you right here. I think this is. See, there's your posture there. You can kind of see how the back here from the tailbone is a lot better in this position here compared to where we see it right here. It says 48 degrees, but when we compare the difference of the 48 degrees here on the actually, no, that's more like 43. So you can see definite difference between the two when comparing the right-hand side to the left-hand side. So when we look at that spine angle, obviously getting you up into a little bit better posture, a little bit better positioning. We see one, especially right here in the legs, here to here, promoted a much better position getting the weight up over the balls of the feet rather than we look here, a little more excessive flex in the knees. Big difference between the two, almost like a crouched position on the right-hand side. So that was number one. Number two, when we go from there, we talked about as we take the golf club back, we get the club up to the top. Once we get up to the top, I had mentioned saying that, a little maybe excessive right hand as we're getting up here, a little more dominant, and or a little overturn or position to where as you go to come back here, because of the overturn that we see here, or the position of where we swing the shoulders past or behind the ball, you can see how the club kind of goes right, and then right from there, as you go to bring the club back down, you can see the unwinding or the turn back of the knee and or the hands throwing the club up from this position up. You can see the club get very upright right here and then come down. Now it's the position of the hands trying to get them back, getting the club back on plane. You've started to release the club early like we discussed, which can often have a position of getting that, adding a little more loft to the face, getting you behind it with the spine angle, and then getting the ball to go up a little bit higher as you come down and come through. Now, as you look at this position, you can see as you get to here, the hands of the club look like they go out towards the target, but then watch as they come around. You can see how they come a little lower around the body here. Whereas we'd like to see as you swing back and swing through, just to position one a little shorter down and then see it right here of that golf club coming up through that left shoulder and through our position. Now, that was the kind of a check swing, but this is when we talked about here to take a little bit longer swing, down through. See how the hands still come back on that position where the hands are a little more in front of you. A little bit better positioning with the shoulders here and here. So, one of the things, and that's one of the things that we talked about here, especially as when we talked with Dale, and Dale was talking, and it's just trying to get a little bit better transition, a little bit better turn, where the head doesn't move off its position as you turn back. Here, you see how you turn back to this position at the top. Here, shoulder, heads come here, but now as you go to bring the club down, look how the body drops down into the shot a good 3 to 4 inches down. You change your posture, change your position. So here, let's look at your head here. See how the head stays roughly in a similar or same position that it was as it swung back and swung through, just because by shortening that backswing and or swinging on a proper path back and forth, keeping the club, hands come down, a little more to the inside, get a little more rotation down and through the shot. So as we worked in this, we walked back outside, this is what it looked like here. I'm going to show you our first position here, and we kind of started, taking some kind of check swings, and all I wanted you to think about here was trying to take it back to about waist high or chest high. Swing back to there, and you see how just momentum carried you through. And it's just these low, kind of this low position where we wanted to feel the head and the spine stay in one position as they turn back and we turn through, trying to have the feeling of the hands and the club staying down and down the line. Now, had some good positions here. We had some nice, good, solid contact as we came through. And the more we worked at it, I felt it got a lot crisper, a lot better feeling, a lot better positioning. Now, when we talked about this here and we got into this position here, my thought the more we worked on it was I wanted you to think about swinging this left shoulder or left hand back to 10 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock tops. Now, when we look at that here, this is what a clock looks like, okay? Look at the clock right here. And you can see how there's almost 11 o'clock with your left hand or left shoulder turning back. Compared to when we look at your original golf swing, we can see if we draw that same clock here, you can see as you turn back, that left arm points up theoretically. So you can see one of two things here. When you swing up to 12 o'clock, because of that position and because of our age, what happens to these shoulders? Look at these shoulders. These shoulders are almost pointing to 2 o'clock. Up here, when you theoretically turn just to 11 or even 10 o'clock, I want the shoulders theoretically pointing up to 12. It's going to be this position here that we see that positioning, but because we turn there, you can see the differences here. You become over-rotated. Look at your knee here. Knee comes out of position. So now you come down, that almost casts the golf club up over the top there. We come down in our position, cause an early release because it's almost like we're forcing that right hand down. An early release of that right hand forces it down, causes that excessive bow in the shaft. Now, because of this position, what we end up talking about is I wanted you to retain or feel like you held this position with that right hand down and through. Now, you can see right there, because of where we started from at the top, we have less of a bow in the shaft as we come down and through, thus in turn resulting in a little better cut, a little bit more forceful position down and through our shot. Now, and that's what we worked on time after time with each one of these shots, was trying to get that positioning or feel that position where it felt a little more comfortable to you. Now, as you do this, you start to get into that position and started to feel it the more we did it. Now, I think that was definitely, what it ended up showing us here with the shots is that it didn't take much to get you to hit that ball the same distance, if not further, with a shorter swing and feeling that right hand held in position where you hold that wrist set or that wrist cocked a little bit longer. Now, what I'm talking about that is by that right hand or that wrist set or wrist cock is almost right here. You see me here on the right hand side here, and this is where I'm going to talk about. This is sometimes I'm going to excessively show the position where sometimes as the hands come down, we get a little excessive with the right hand. I'm not showing it here, but what I want you to feel is you swing up to the top, almost the same type of position when I have you here. This is the swing into 10 o'clock here, a little past 9, but what you can tell is I hold this right angle. And when I say I hold this right angle, because I hold that position of my right hand right here. Watch this. Here, here. And look at the differences right there. See where my hands are? See where your hands are? Night and day. You know, when we look right here, take it to there, take it to there. 170, you know, almost a 90-degree difference between our two positions. Then you can see me swing down into it. Here we go. You can start. I'm starting to release the club just a little bit here. Bam. Impact. Bam. Impact. Look at the difference. Look at my shaft here on the right-hand side. My body is turning through. As my body turns through and as my position comes into the ball, you can clearly see this position right there compared to yours. All right? And it's just that position where the body is turning down and through, and we hold that right-hand position. As you can see, as I finish here, look at my transition through the shot, and then we turn up and are in a position. So the position that we look at here, essentially, Ted, what we're trying to find here is that the hand, we hold, we retain this wrist set down through impact, and we turn through towards our target down at our shot. Now, when we see your position here, like I said before, I truly feel if we can hold this position just a little bit longer, we're going to start to see a better distance with you time after time. Rather than getting to the point of impact right here and being a good 2 feet away from the ball and, you know, seeing that force down or that early release. Now, I clearly think this is a great start to start from, getting the shoulders to 12, getting the hands to 10 or 11. But I think that's what we need to work on. That's what we need to see, along with a better stance, having that better stance time after time, and then also better stance, better turn to the top, and then holding that wrist set down and through the shot. If you have any questions, Ted, by all means, I want you to give me a call. 314-724-6539, or shoot me an email at michaelwyattgolf@gmail.com. Thank you, sir.